And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast, the dark side of the live stream edition. Thank you. Podcast, your home for rational crypto news and objectivity, leaving emotion at the door, talking about what we like, why we like it, and where we see it going. We are not offering financial advice. We are telling you what we do. That is all. We don't slow down. We don't let up. Full speed is our only speed. I'm your host, Scott, pragmatic investor who has won and lost fortunes. Today was a big old who has won and lost fortunes. Joining me as always, the greatest producer of all time, the one, the only, the original, Madam Bell. How are you doing tonight, hon?
You know what? I'm glad to be here tonight. How about yourself, Scott?
No, I'm absolutely not. I'm so tired of this. I am so tired. Every single dour, red, brutal day. We're here. You know what? Just constantly, man. It gets exhausting. Is it so hard one time to give me a big old bright green day where people actually want to tune in and actually want to just get excited and have the spirit decor with other people who made money? Apparently it is, Bell. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's the two of us, and we are causing these downtrends simply because they know we're going live. The powers that be, they know, Bell. All right, government, they all know. They know, oh my God, the podcast is going to go live. Let's just nuke Bitcoin because that's it. Yeah, it seems plausible. Is it plausible?
I think you're
what?
I think you are making assumptions that just aren't accurate.
You know what? I'm going to go with plausible. Bell was about to say, you're not as important as you think you are. That's exactly what she was going to say. But I'm sorry, I got a light. I got my light is screwed up here. Yeah, that's what she was about to say. She didn't say it, though. You know, bless her heart. Such a good girl. Here at the podcast, we have a tendency to talk about what others are not talking about and bringing the focus onto use case cryptos because, as we know, these are what drive the market and bring innovation to a world that desperately needs it. The status quo, it's no longer acceptable. Time for technological revolution. Welcome to crypto. Welcome to the podcast. And
I'm just going to put out that correlation does not equal causation.
Causality. You know what? In my world, it does. It's my reality, man. I can do, you know, we might not even be real. You might not even be real, Bell. None of us might be, you know, none of us might really be here. We're all living in a simulation. We're all playing a video game. Somebody right now is I'm their sim and they're controlling me. And
Sims don't have to eat. And the last thing I knew, you actually enjoyed eating steak.
Sometimes, unless they're undercooked. How do you undercook medium rare, dude? All right, look, man, it's either medium rare or it's raw. I mean, there is literally nothing to it. You're talking about 60 seconds on either side. So stop with that. And by the time I send it back, I'm already pissed. So anything you give me back, and I am the last guy that's ever going to send back food. They're going to spit on it, Bell. There's going to be, here's your steak with chives and jizz. That's it. It's a special butter. All right. We're not going to, you know, call it that, but that's what it is. I'm the very last person that'll send back food, and it's got to be just god awful before I will do it. I'm a Navy guy, man. I'm a shellback. You wouldn't believe the shit that I'll eat. But you know, when when I bite it and I hear it moo, that is too underdone. I mean, even for me, that's I don't want just lines burned in the top of it. Pretend that you're a professional. I'm paying $200 for a steak and you're going to cook it right. Because by the time I get around and sending it back and all of the apologies, and I feel way too bad about doing that. Look, you got one job. All right. You have one job. You take all of my money. You should give me all of the product, the very best that you can do it. I understand that shit happens, but how can you look at that? How can you look at that New York strip and say, yeah, that's good. That's fully cooked. It's ready. I mean, it was rubber belt. You saw it.
Maybe they need a lesson in person from Gordon Ramsay. I don't know.
I don't know. But then I feel so bad. And they're like, well, enjoy your sides. I don't want the sides. All right. I want the steak. That's what I paid for. I didn't pay $180 for mashed potatoes. All right. I paid it for the steak. So please, for the love of God, just cook it right. I still tip 40% on that. I still tip 40%. I cannot believe that I tipped that much for bad food. I mean, what? God, what's going on anymore, Belle? What's going on with me? Is that it? I feel so bad that somebody actually is forced to work and then they fuck it up and I'm supposed to pretend that they didn't fuck it up? I mean, is that where we're at now in life?
We'd better not be at that point. I'm sorry, but yeah, we've got people that work for us, and that just yeah, that won't fly,
Yeah.
especially with me around.
Yeah, I don't pay full salary for half ass. If you're gonna half ass it, man, I'm gonna pay you what you did based on deliverables. But if you know if you're just gonna phone it in, then I'm gonna phone in your paycheck, man. I'm sorry about that. Take it up with somebody else. You're replaceable. So yeah, it's kind of ugly. Now Bill and I just did a fun thing. We're gearing up. We're gearing up for Karate Combat, man. I cannot wait for this. Like I said, the studio's on. I'm thinking about putting a kicker over myself, Bill. You know what a kicker is? You know what? It's a lighting thing. Do you know what a kicker is? It's a spot. It's the spotlight that's right over the top of my head. It's not wonderful. It's not a full projection. It's just enough that it gives the the shine to the top of my head and my shoulders, and makes me like the center of the show. And it's perfect for a dark environment like the way we're going to be shooting this thing.
That's not going to work the way you think it's going to,
Well,
Scott.
because my head is shiny. Is that what you're going to say? Go ahead, say it. Say it. Because my head is shiny.
No, your head is not going to be shiny because you're not bald.
No, it's a solar panel. It's a solar panel for a sex machine. That's the kind of mood I'm in tonight, guys. But no, I think a big kicker right over the center of the stage. The spotlight, I don't even know what you call that. The half moons up along the backdrop for give us a nice depth of field. I think it'll be I think it'll be a nice look. I just don't want it to be overly dark. That's the whole thing. So the umbrella lights are in, the big fill lights, those things should be here tomorrow. So lighting's taken care of, curtains are ready to go up, shelves are ready to come out, stage is on its way, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. It's fun, and how much fun we'll get to crypto. I don't have any visibility on anybody right now. I have no idea. We could be talking to empty air, and actually that's fine. But yeah, Bella and I just spent about 20 minutes calling fights. That was the first time you've ever done it, isn't it, Bella? It's the very first time that you've ever called fights, right?
It is. Yeah.
And you did splendidly. You're ready. All right, you're ready. I will handle play-by-play. Chris will handle technical, and you're right there with me in color commentary, and she absolutely nailed it. The kicker is that we were just watching a really, really good fight. It was the 156 pounds. Both fighters were very, very stout. That's kick. It was Everell and Sullivan. And Sullivan, this was his Karate Combat debut. That's the very first time.
And people were giving Everell a 72% chance of winning.
Yeah, I didn't. They were basing that on the fact that the guy's 2-0 in Karate Combat, but Sullivan this is not his first time in a ring. I mean, the man was stout, kept his hands up wonderfully. His defense was fantastic, and he was absolutely working that guy with those inside thigh kicks. You ignore him. Round one, it doesn't really matter. You're just like, oh, yeah, look, he kicked me in the thigh. That's okay. I can take it. But by the time you get to round three and you've been kicked 38 times on the inside of the thigh, that leg ain't working real good anymore. And it was his leading leg too. So we were watching him towards the end. He was so super crisp and so just technically in there on the 1-2, and his combos were fantastic. By the end of round two, he was using that jab to just stay away from me. That was Sullivan just kept pressing him, and we didn't get to watch round three because we had to go live here. So I'm kind of excited. I saved it though because I want to see who wins this fight. I got to see how this one actually fleshes out. But I'm telling you, man, Sullivan, he looked like he was ready to fight. He was here to fight. He's not in there to lay down. He's not going to lay down to the vet or the favorite or anything, man. That guy got up there in that ring and he pushed the action all the time. I could see that he's got that UFC background because he was shooting a lot and going for takedowns and all that, and that doesn't work in Karate Combat. It's not UFC. It sort of works. You can still ground and pound, but you can only have one knee on the ground when you're doing it. The other leg has to be straight up, and they haven't really introduced grappling into it yet. So honestly, I don't see why they bother, man. Put the grappling in. Let's just make it a different, just a minor league UFC. Just do it like that. The wall is vicious, so it's 45 degrees, and when you get stuck and you're rolled over and you're up against that wall and your back's in that corner and that guy's just on top of you, elbows are legal now, and he's just gonna rain hellfire down on you. So it's gonna be fun. I love seeing this evolve, man. I'm very, very excited to be calling the fights up here. Bell, you ready? I'm excited. I mean, I'm absolutely jazzed up. I don't know what to wear though. Should I be the professional commentator? Should I go with the vest and the tie, or should I go with the scumbag and wear just wear like a t-shirt for energy drink, some energy drink or shit that I don't know? I cannot pass off as the young guy. All right, I'm 53. It's clear. So I'm kind of leaning towards vest, tie. Let's look professional. But I don't know, Belle. What do you think? You're the producer.
For this, business casual.
Business casual. What would you call business casual? I don't know what business casual is. What is business casual?
Well, like one of the zip-up sweaters you've got, or something along those lines.
Okay, so you're saying not the vest with the with my pocket watch and all that. I should go more business. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay. Well, you know what? As this is our very first show doing this, we will likely evolve as well. But, Belle, what are you going to wear? Are you going to go with Ring Girl? Are you going to go with that? Are you just going to be those tiny little shorts and very little clothing? And are you going with that, or are you going to go a different direction? If I'm going business casual, it would suggest that you should also go business casual.
You know what? I'll surprise everybody with what I'm wearing.
She's going to go Ring Girl, folks. Very, very exciting. Everybody looking forward to it. Give a round of applause for the Belle. She ain't going to go Ring Girl, dude. That ain't going to happen. That would be hilarious. All right, guys. Let's take a look at the horror that is still in front of us, man. I'm not even looking at the Bitcoin right now. How low can it go? I could wake up tomorrow morning, see 84,000, and wouldn't even be the least little bit surprised right now. Market is rattled. This market is rattled. We had nothing because I don't believe, I could be wrong, but I don't believe that the Dow was even open today. I don't think it was open because they declared it a federal holiday. So let me see. The last one was 1-8. Yep. So the market was not even. We had nothing to counter the bad news that was happening out here. We had nothing. We couldn't look to the Dow and say, yeah, but the Dow's up, so maybe we're kind of safe. We had nothing. We had a monstrous big fat sell-off sitting right on top of us, and we didn't have a Dow Jones to counter it out. So nobody can really get the pulse of anything right now. And when you're talking about Bitcoin, which is, again, a purely speculative asset, you need some kind of barometer out there. And we had no barometer. That's why it goes so crazy on the weekends, guys. Just so you know, BlackRock, all the ETFs, all the TradFi money that's over here now, there's no barometer on days off. We have no idea. So there's nothing that's going to counter this. We can't get suddenly a 600-point surge over on the Dow, and then people are able to say, sure, okay, well, let's throw a little bit more speculation over into there into Bitcoin, see what happens. We don't have that. There's no offset on these days. There's zero barometer. So yeah, it's going to go crazy. That's exactly why it goes crazy on the weekend. A hell of a lot more now than it ever did before, because TradFi is sound asleep and we have no gauge of where we're sitting. You kind of got to think of it like poker. You got a hand of poker and you're looking at let's say you're looking at ace 10, not exactly as strong, depending on your position. But let's just say you're under the gun with ace 10. You don't really know where you're standing on this. So sure, you might throw a little bit in. You might make a bet, maybe a big bet. Let's say you want to see where you're at. You throw out a big half the pot, and you want to see where it goes and where it comes around to you, because you need to see where you're at. And right now, whenever we have these things, I hate talking in metaphors, but it seems pretty apt. You can't make a strong speculative play unless you have some information, unless you have some idea where you're sitting at. And on these no doubt days, we have no idea. We're waiting for big kind of news, another war, Iran is striking Israel again or something. And we have nothing on these down days. So all the news, California burned down. I know I don't live there, so I'm sorry for anybody who's living over in the Palisades. But yeah, and the funny thing, here's the funny, Bell. You like this one? They're on the coast. They're right there on the coast. That's where Los Angeles is. I mean, literally the beach is right there. And they're bitching because they're out of fresh water, and they don't want no. They don't want to fight the fire with salt water. I understand why. All right, I understand why. Because as soon as you start dumping salt water over there, you're going to damage machinery, you're going to damage equipment, and you are basically salting the earth to the point where nothing will grow there again. So I understand that. But the alternative is all of your shit burns to the ground. That is literally the alternative. So I know that you care about the grass and the trees and all that other good stuff, but effectively you are going to burn, if everything burns to the ground anyway, what are you trying to save? I mean, what's the point here? Well, we have a beautiful grass lawn around this burned out husk of a 7-Eleven. I'm saying eventually you're going to have to make a hard decision. Now, Gavin Newsom is incapable of making a hard decision. He can politicize it. I saw him out there getting his photo ops, but they can't, nobody over there is going to make a hard decision. Now, if it's my house, you know what? I'll replant the lawn. All right. I'll scrape a layer of dirt off. I'll bring a new layer in there. We've taken care of the salt problem, and I can have my lawn back. But I'd rather have the structure there. I'd like to have the structure there at the same time so that there's a reason for me to replant my grass. Right now, that's their total thing. We cannot use salt water because it'll damage the environment. More than fire? Fire is kind of damaging to the environment, Belle. I don't know. Am I way off base here?
Okay, with them being on the coast and them suffering from frequent droughts, don't they have all the stuff needed to desalinate water anyway?
No, they're not even close to where they should be. They invested just recently like $8 billion into infrastructure to provide additional fresh water, bigger storage, all that other good stuff, and it just never got done. It's kind of like the charging stations that the government allocated, federal government allocated, I don't even know, it was an obscene amount, like $68 billion to build charging stations, and they built like 6. There were like 6 across the country, the federal charging stations. And the same thing they did with the Wi-Fi, the coast-to-coast Wi-Fi. We're going to be Wi-Fi to rural areas. There was nothing.
That hasn't happened yet,
and it's never going to. But Elon Musk did it. You could order it for like $400. Put Starlink on your house. Works anywhere in the coast, anywhere in the country, and you have high-speed internet. So it seems like Musk kind of solved that anyway. Yeah, but again, guys, with no barometer out here, this thing is everything out here is kind of blowing up. Now, from a more personal note, I'm a hell of a lot more concerned, and I'm not even in it. I don't own any. I don't swim in those waters. I never have. But I'm a hell of a lot more concerned with Thorchain right now than I am with effectively anything else. Because when Thorchain eventually does a Kajira, which we already saw this. And I talked about a little bit this morning. We already saw what happens when you surround yourself with toxic assets, when your strategic reserves are tokens, and not USDC, but are actually tokens. All it takes is a very, very tight series of unfortunate events to destabilize your entire platform. And Thorchain is kind of wobbling right now. Now, I understand that there's some Thorchain maxis out there that will just swear up and down, nope, it's solid. It can never, ever happen here. But I've been dealing with the same Kajira maxis who said, dope, you're wrong. It's solid. It can never, ever, ever happen here, until it did. So I'm a hell of a lot more concerned with Thorchain than I am with effectively anything else out here. Look, man, my Jackal, the price is down. I get it. It had nothing to do with Jackal. It has everything to do with this, and absolutely nothing to do with the underlying fundamentals of Jackal or a Cash or Flix or hell, even Astrovault. It had nothing to do with suddenly everybody decided we're going to sell all of our tokens. It had everything to do with your Bitcoin dicks deciding that they're going to sell all of theirs because of the Silk Road blowback, the last little bit. So the blowback of Thorchain nuking is going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem. As a matter of fact, I was talking to someone today, Bell, and he asked me, what's the best investment for you in crypto right now? I said short Rune. That is the best investment in crypto right now, is just short Rune. But there's a problem with that, Bell, and I'm not going to ask you what the problem is, but I will tell you what the problem is. The problem with that is that if Rune does what I would anticipate it doing when everything goes wrong, you'll never get paid off. I don't care what platform you're on when you go to leverage this thing, because when it goes, it's going to go fast. And at that point, you will never, ever be able to, if you were at a large leverage position, say 10, 12, 15%, they'll never pay you off. It will go down so much so fast that they will literally close your trades in front of you because you're going to liquidate anything that would have been paying off that pool. We've seen this before.
Sounds very familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Levana. They closed out my trades on there constantly. And it really pissed me off too, because if you're going to take my action, you should honor it if it doesn't go your way. And if I'm going to put like 18 grand in there at 25x, even though it doesn't matter if I'm in there long, short, whatever, if you're going to take the action, you need to be able to pay off the action. And that's my concern with Short and Rune right there, is that I don't think you'll get paid off. I think if it tanks, and it tanks that hard and it does it that fast, either your trade is going to be closed and you're going to be paid off whatever they had left, which could be 12, 14, 16%, or they'll leave the trade open, but you just won't be able to close it, or they won't be able to honor the payout. It's always been the problem with DeFi leverage. It's always been my biggest concern, because these guys have no ability to lay off the large positions. Bookies have been doing this as long as humans have wanted to gamble. Bookies have been doing, illegal bookies have been able to do it because they can lay off the action on all the other bookie houses out there, all the other, our brokerages, their booking houses. They were able to lay off the action. To this day, we don't do that in crypto. It's one platform. You're my guy. You're staying with me, and we're good to go. But if they can't lay off your action, then you could bust them, and they're not going to get busted. So they're either going to close the trade on your behalf well before you wanted it to be closed. It doesn't matter. They're either going to close the trade on you, or they're going to leave it open and just not pay you off. They'll say, oh, yeah, no, it's good. You got credit. You have credit here now, Bell. And as we get money in, we'll go ahead and pay you out. But until that happens, here's some tokens. Here's some DEX tokens to salve the wounds. You can't actually sell these because there's no money in them.
I don't take anything except food on credit.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen here, man. Hey, you heard it here first. Let's see what happens. All right, Bell, we're actually overtime on the first segment, but I'm still talking, Bell. Questions, comments, concerns, observations. I have no idea if anybody's watching. Go ahead, Bell.
I'm going to give Nuclear Chicken a little bit of credit for watching the language on this one. Mm-hmm. He says, how is y'all white stuff on the ground?
How is you all white stuff on the ground? No, actually, we haven't gotten those. It's been cold.
Yeah, very little white stuff on the ground.
It's been super cold, but yeah, we there's just a little bit. I got some on my deck. I never swept it away, but no, the weather's been very, very pleasant here. Roads are clean, easy, dry. Yeah, no, we've been having a good time. Bell, please carry on.
All right, Nuclear Chicken again. What is there an AI bot, Scott?
Is there an AI bot, Scott? No. Could I have one of those? Could I? I would love that. That'd be great, Bell. I could just hit go live and turn on my agent, my virtual twin, and let him do my thing. See if he can capture all of my nuance. I think that would be. I think that'd be wonderful. That'd be great. That really would be great, because then I'd have to go back and watch my own videos to see what I said. Would be epic. I gotta let me look back. I'm gonna get back to you on that question. I have to actually go and see what I said, and then we can carry on. There's things that I forget. It happens, man. I'm old, but
then the hate mail would get sent to me.
Oh, that hate mail is just glorious. All right, Bell, one more. We're gonna play a song. I'm going with Sublime right now. We have not. I love Sublime. We're going with that next, right after this question. Go, Bell, go.
Idiot Fish, drop in the comment, I refuse to send back. I'll leave the restaurant hungry. The movie Waiting ruined it.
Right, because it's coming back with semen on it. You know it is. I was there. I was with Belle, and she said, no, they would never do that. You can see the kitchen. I was like, they know how to do it. They know how to do it and not get caught. So, yeah, I'm with you, brother. I hate to send back food because it's like you're personally insulting them or something. And as much as I admire you as a chef, I don't want your DNA on my food, dude. I just don't. I'm the easiest guy in the world to work with, man. I'm the simplest guy to please. Is the food cooked? Yes. Good. I will eat it. Even if it tastes bad, I will still eat it if it's cooked properly. But man, when you brick it that hard, and it's like a it's like a Kobe steak or something like that. And I know I'm paying like $300 for this, and you brick it that bad, man. What do you want from me? I mean, my patience only goes so far. All right. Anyway,
That's
guys,
the problem with having too much on the menu.
and make your menu small. All right, make it simple. Tell me everything. I love restaurants that have very, very small menus, because that means I assume that they make everything on that menu very, very well. That's it. But when you get like those 38-page menus, I'm like, God, man, I don't know what's coming out of this thing. Scrape the fryers, scrape out the deep fryers and all of those little bits that are in the bottom of it. Just put that in a bowl and pour some salt on it, and I'll eat that, because at least I know it's well cooked. All right, guys, going with Sublime on this one. I'm in a weird mood today. All right, it's been an incredibly rough crypto day. The only thing I'm really keeping my eye on here, more than anything else, is my Ethereum USDC position that swung out of range so fast over here. I know exactly when it's going to come up ticking and paying me money again. This is it. This is all I have hope for right now. So I'm paying very, very close attention to that. Anyway, if anybody would like to help me out, go ahead and tip. Give me money. All right, Scott did not have a good day. And I'll give you a song to think about while we're doing it. A little bit of Sublime right here on the podcast on the KPOD network. Enjoy.
Mucho gusto, me llamo Bradley. I'm hornier than Ron Jeremy. And if you wanna get popped in your knee, just wipe that look off your bossy face. You hate me cause I got what you need, a pretty little daughter that we call Mixie. And if you wanna get beat physically, it will be over in a minute if you... So she told me to come over and I took that trip. And then she pulled out my mushroom tip. And when it came out, it went drip, drip, drip. I didn't know she had the G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip. And it went, and the girl caressed me down, and that's that loving sound. And it went, and the girl caressed me down, and that's that loving sound. When that kiss makes me feel horny, cause I'm the type of lover with the sensitivity. When she kissed my neck and tickled me fancy, she gave me the right kind of love on a Sunday morning. En el otro lado es donde viví, con un mijita que se llama Mexia. Su hermana sí me quiere, y ahorita tenemos un bebé. Sus padres, sus tíos me trataron matar, but they did not get too far. Un poco después tuve que regresar con un chingo de dinero, cause you know I'm a star. Me fui a Costa Rica para tomar y surfear, platicaba con la raza cause they know who we are. Si no le dio cuenta, then I bet you never will. You must be a muñeca if you're still standing still. And we ball, caress me down, and that's the loving sound. We go, and the girl caress me down, and that's the loving sound. Me gusta mi reggae, me gusta punk rock, pero la cosa que me gusta más es panochita. La nalga en el aire, if you know who you are. Pon la nalga en el aire y empieza a gritar. No tenga miedo, I'm your papi. Take your chones y los manden a mí. Levanta, levanta, tienes que gritar. Levanta, levanta, tienes que bailar. Caress me down, and that's the loving sound. And the girl caress me down, that's the loving sound. Caress me down, that's the loving sound. And the girls caress me down, that's the loving sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you. Feel like I have that. I have an urgent broadcast that I have to bring to your attention. That's what I feel like every time I go there, Bell. All right, questions, Bell, please get us through this. Let's have some fun tonight. You know what? Or should I tell my story first? Should I tell my story, or should I answer questions? It's up to you. You're the producer.
We don't have too many questions, so tell your story.
All right. So I did a year in Djibouti, and that's over in Africa, and it's simply the worst environment imaginable. Whenever you think about that, where would I love to serve? And then get it, go complete 180 for it. You're going to land over there in Djibouti, Africa. Let me give you a tip. If you are going into Djibouti, Africa, order from Amazon an extra pair of nostrils, because the very second you get off that plane, you smell a very earthy fragrance that's going to be with you for your entire time there. Yeah, it's a little bit rough, but I did a year's tour over there. Now I was more senior enlisted, so I was like, okay, I'll go through it. It was my last. I was going to retire in 3 months, and then they said, oh no, you're going to get mobilized. We're going to send you back out there again. So I went back out. But I was with JSOC. I didn't know I was going to be with JSOC. That was brand new. I was like, oh, okay, we'll fuck around over there for a year. It'll be nice. I get all my medical shit taken care of. But it didn't go that way. It went with JSOC. Now, one of the things with JSOC is rank is not really an issue. We don't call each other by ranks over there. We don't even wear uniforms. We just, Mike, Pat, Paul, Sarah. There's girls over there too. So it doesn't really matter what your rank is. You're going to sit whatever position you're assigned to, and it really doesn't matter. So for some reason, they said, you have a good radio voice. What do you think about radio? I was like, well, I did radio for years and years. So next thing you know, I'm radio. I'm the radio man. I was like, I don't do this shit, man. All right, you pay very 19 and 20-year-old kids to do that. And they said, yeah, but not here. Not here we don't. So you're going to be radio. So they're 12 on, 12 off. And if anybody who's ever worked 12 on, 12 off, you understand that time really starts to become irrelevant. Your life really starts to become irrelevant. There's transit time to and from your work. You eat, and then you sleep, and then you get up and you eat, and you go back in and you do your shift, and then you eat and you sleep, and then that's it. I was like, yeah, this is fine, man. I can do this. And then 9 months in, 9 months, not a single day off. I did not get a day off. There was no leave. We were undermanned, and there was a lot of stuff going on in the region right now. So, yeah, it was 12 on, 12 off for 9 months. And I'm not afraid to say that even at my older, more mature position, that I was starting to crack. I was like, man, I cannot do this again. It doesn't. There's a trick to it. See, there's a trick. The trick is you have to think of an arbitrary date somewhere in the future, that it doesn't matter what date it is. But if this morning you wake up and it's July 22nd, you have to think to yourself, it's almost October 8th, man. We are so close to October 8th. I cannot wait till I get to October 8th. And that's it. That's it. That's the thing. You have to have something to look forward to. And that's the thing that you look forward to, are these bullshit arbitrary dates that you just write on the calendar, and with big arrows and stuff like, oh, look, it's almost October 8th. And then October 8th comes around and you're like, God, we're so close to December 4th, man. I cannot wait till we get to December 4th. But with all of that, you're still expected to be Johnny on the spot. You're still expected to do your job. So you have to find a way to pass the time, man. You absolutely do. Now, fortunately, I was actually I was in the JOC, which is the Joint Operations Center. It's just that big place you see with all the monitors up there, and I had control of everything that all the speakers in the JOC. So they knew when I was there. It's like, oh, fuck, Potagil's here. Stand by. So I get in there at 5:45 a.m. Our shifts start 15 minutes before. I work 6 to 6 and then 6 to 6. That was 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You do that for 2 months, and then you get switched over to 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then you just keep recycling yourself. But Yeah, 5:45 a.m. I'm in there, bright and I'm ready and I'm shaved and I'm ready to do this. So the first thing I did was hit the buttons, crank up the speakers. I'd go over there and I'd crank up a song, and it was usually that one that you just heard. It was usually Caress Me Down, and I would crank it. I mean, all the way up. What are you gonna do to me? All right, the moment that I step off this base, the very second that my boot crosses that threshold, I'm retired. All right, with all of my benefits, I am retired. So what are you going to do to me? And I mean, I got lots of people talking to me. I got captains over there. Dude, you got to stop this shit. I'm like, fuck, Skipper, send me home, man. All right, I don't need to be there. This is not my gig anymore. And he said, no, we can't do it. We're undermanned. I was like, then enjoy Sublime. I mean, that's it. What are you going to do? So every morning, 5:45, I take the position. I sign on the book. It's mine now. I go off. I do my radio checks. Any station. This is me. How read me over. I get some response. It's like, okay, technically we're good to go. Let's all brighten each other's day. So switches go up, speaker gets cranked, and you hear Caress Me Down. And this is it. That's how I coped. All right. If you've ever been there, any military guys that have been there, you know what I'm talking about. For you non-military people, that's the only way that you got to have something. And that was my something, was cranking Sublime in the jock from JSOC in Djibouti, Africa. It was a good time. Round of applause for Sublime. Didn't even like the song. I don't even like it now. Don't care. It's just something. You got to play something. Or I'd play that Ralph Esposito song, Bell. Which one is that? The from Karate Kid. You know that song? That if I, at the end, yeah, that's it. That'd be the other one. I'd be cranking it. I crank that up, and I'm up there swinging my arms. I am the best. Fuck you. I'm gonna do what I want to. Turn it down, Potterchill. Right here, buddy. You come turn it down. All right, you come. You can't fucking touch my position. It's fun. It's funny. Little boys flexing and shit.
You did that one for like a good month, at least according to your emails.
Oh, I did. I played that for about a month, and then I pivoted over to like St. Elmo's Fire. I know that song. I'd be up there with my own microphone. I'd be karaokeing over it with my headset mic. I'd be karaokeing it over it. I would just flip on my own audio, and I was up there just cranking it up. They knew I was cracking, but there's nothing. They can't actually act until we lash out violently. And that happened all the time, by the way. And when somebody lashes out violently, we got to shrink.
That's why they were understaffed.
Yeah. We got to shrink right outside the jock. And the shrink's job is to sedate you. All right, so when you lose your shit, and it happened constantly, then everybody would jump on you. We'd hold you down. The doc would come down, and they'd pump some feel good into you, and then that was it, man. You were on a plane 4 hours later. They bring you back to your berth, wherever you happen to be. Pack your shit. You're on a C-130, and you're on your way to Stuttgart. That was it. That's how quick that shit happened. Had nothing to do with crypto. I don't think I've ever told that story. I don't think I've ever put that out on here. And considering that we're going to studio, it would have been so much better on a dark studio, well lit with a kicker, Bell. All right, then I would have got that Samuel Jackson feel that he did in like the remake of RoboCop, which was a good movie, by the way. All right, if you disagree, you're fucking wrong. It was a great movie. Questions, Bell? Can we talk about crypto or what the hell?
Johnny from Twitter actually asking, was our pregame for Karate Combat fun?
I had a wonderful time, man. I have longed to get. I'll ask you, Bell, separately, because you didn't actually tell me whether or not you were into combat sports. Did I call it correctly? That's all I'm looking for. Did I call it correctly? Did you feel the passion in it? Is this something that you would want to tune into and see the rest of the fight and maybe the next one? That's it. Now, obviously, you're a biased audience, but from complete professional, I am the show producer, and if this shit's to bed, it's really on you and not me. Did I do good?
I mean, the enthusiasm came through clearly. There are elements that we cannot control that are gonna determine if it continues being good.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that. Like I said, we get the clean feed, but I don't really have their timing sheet. That's a kicker. So it's only experience. Our timing is gonna be off in this a little bit, guys. So we have the clean feed. That means there are no Karate Combat commentators on there. It's just us, but we still get fed all of the external commentators, like the pre-fight interviews, the post-fight interviews, or the post-mortems. But we don't have the timing sheet, so I don't know exactly when they're going to be doing that. So we're going to run it on a delay, and hopefully we can get that thing synced up a little bit so that we can say, and now we're going to Johnny to for the post-fight interviews, and then you guys are going to hear all of that stuff. So we don't have that kind of sync with them yet, but if we do good and we put some asses in the seats, I got a hunch you're going to give us some of that. Anyway, carry on, Belle.
All right. So next one coming in from Nuclear Chicken. Can you tell me the date and time for that first karate fight? I want to see if I can make it. I'm not big into sports or combat sports, but want to support you guys.
That very first fight is going to be going on 24 January, and it is kicking off at 1900 Eastern, so 1800 our time. So on 2400, anytime that we would normally be live, we will be live, but we're going to be live for Karate Combat, and we're going to be doing it exclusively on OmniFlix TV. Now, you don't need a wallet to watch. We're going to be right up there on top. They were really good. I wonder if they even left it up, Belle. Let me take a look. From our last live stream over there, they left us right there at tippy top, and they still did. So you're going to actually see us right there, live on TV. It'll be Karate Combat. You come over there, you click the button, and you're on. All right, just like that. It's mobile friendly. You can watch from your phone. You can watch from everything. If you happen to have the OmniFlix app, which I asked you guys to go to Twitter if you could and ask for more resolution on the OmniFlix app, because the OmniFlix app is actually pretty good. But that was my call to action, and it kind of died flat. But at least on Android right now, I see that little icon right there. It's going to bring you up to that, which is going to be the OmniFlix app. And if you go right there to the tippy top, you're going to see our stream, because they already told us we're the show that day. So we're going to be right there on top. Not hard to find, but it is going to be on OmniFlix.tv exclusively. So yeah, piece of cake to find us, man. Hope you guys tune in. If you're not into combat sports, hopefully I can get you into combat sports. That's why we're doing this, man. And let me just carry on this for a second, Belle. We'll get back to it. As long as we have to live our crypto lives around this, all right, as long as this is the thing that's calling the shots, that's dominating everything that we do over here, we are fucked 9 different ways. This cannot stand. We have got to do something about this. As much as I've always wanted to be a sports broadcaster, my poli-sci and English background suggests to me that they're never gonna let me call games. It's just not my background. So political commentary, what we're doing right now, all of that is perfectly acceptable, but I'm too old to go back and start over on some AM radio station calling, D League and stuff like that. It's just not going to happen for me. So because I always wanted to do it, we're just creating our own market for it. If it works, great. I personally expect it to fall really, really flat, because we're pushing out into a different market. We're pushing out way, way out. We're bringing deep in to people who don't know what that is. We are bringing crypto to people who have no familiarity with it, but we're doing it and basking it in sports broadcasting. So it's an opportunity to onboard the people that you guys are talking about. Now, I don't care if they buy crypto, but I do care if they watch. I do care if they are tuning into OmniFlix TV day after day after day, checking out new content, because OmniFlix has a path to monetization with that. That path to monetization is called advertisements. People expect it. I want you to think about this. Any NFL fans out there, Belle, you too. I want you to think about it. How much would you enjoy watching a NFL game from start to finish with no commercials whatsoever? What do you think would happen to you during that time?
You know what? Yeah, I'd stick around and watch my team play, but God, I'd regret it right when the game was done.
Yeah,
I mean, tummy
because
troubles and
you
yeah.
got nothing out of it. You couldn't get a soda, you couldn't go to the bathroom, you couldn't do anything because the show never stops. It's like watching soccer. And that's the reason that soccer is never going to be the premier sport to watch over here in the US, because we're used to commercials. And when you're watching a soccer match, it never stops. All right, the initial kickoff, and we run all the way down to halftime. We take our breaks, we dump in the commercials, then we come back and we run it from the 45 minutes to the 90th minute. There are no breaks in there.
During the Super Bowl, that leaves no room whatsoever for the halftime show, or I mean the Snickers commercials that are always fantastic.
Yeah, I used to like the Bud Bowl. I used to love the Budweiser Bowl during, and this is back in the 80s and 90s. I used to love the Clydesdales going at it. It was great. But I
miss seeing the Clydesdales more often.
What I'm just saying is that the path to monetization for OmniFlix is very, very simple, because it's something that people accept. It's something that people expect. It's very, very easy over here. And just because we're Web3 doesn't mean that we have to do everything different. There's a proven model here. It has been done everywhere. So there's no need for you to try to reinvent this wheel or to repaint the Mona Lisa. It already exists. Just do what was already done, and you're going to get there. And OmniFlix happens to agree with me on this one. They happen to say the same thing. It's like, yeah, look, man, our path to monetization up here is asses in seats and commercials. So what better thing to bring, particularly over there focused in India, than combat sports? And that's exactly what this is. So, yeah, I'm there. I'm very, very bullish on it. I'm very, very bullish on the team, the network, everything that they're doing, because they're doing it right. They made an app. They are going to introduce advertising on this. This is external organic revenue. This is people that are pouring money into Web3 and not buying tokens, because we cannot survive if this is it. If this is all there is a pure speculative, larger than life fucking meme coin that is calling the shots up and down over here, we cannot withstand this. We need products. We need a Jackal. We need a Cash. We need Flix. We need DVPN. We need anything that provides a solution, that solves a problem, that's cost efficient, and that is abstracted from Web3. OmniFlix.tv is 100% abstracted from Web3. It's right. It's the way forward. That's why we're doing this, because if we don't, nobody else is going to. I can illustrate this very, very, very simply. The voice of the cosmos, as long as we have been the cosmos, has been Cryptocito. When's the last time you saw a Cryptocito video? Bell, when's the last time he put out something new?
I have no idea. I don't go looking for his stuff because it irritates me.
Because he's not getting paid to do it anymore. Gone. So everybody's just kind of been left to their own devices out here. If we don't do something, nobody will do anything, and we bleed flat. That's it. I have no illusions that this is suddenly going to be the savior of all of this. But if it's a savior of one thing, if it's one thing pushing forward and showing people that there is a better way, I'm willing to take that. I'm willing to put my ass on the line and make a complete asshole out of myself. Nobody's paying us for this. I am losing my fucking ass to do this. But if we don't, nobody will. And then that's it. How would we ever know? One question, Belle, then we got a song. And it was a song that was paid for. So go ahead.
I am going to jump on to your point about advertising. Even with community theater, they have an intermission so you can go and take a potty break and go get popcorn and soda.
You know, and I think it's perfect. We've actually been talking about it. I was like, dude, I was going to recommend that they overdo the ads, that you hit it too much, too hard, and do it, and make it annoying to the point that people would pay you $6 a month to skip the ads. What does that sound like, Belle? Does that sound like anything you might be familiar with? $6 is not a lot in crypto.
Yeah, that sounds like how Netflix originated, and Hulu, and yeah,
and fucking YouTube. Now think about it. If you took that $6 and you burned it, and that was payable in Flix, and you simply burned it, you know what that is? You know what that's called? It's called buy pressure.
Yep.
That's all it is, up and down the board. All right, this song was paid for earlier. I've never heard it. I don't even know what this is, and I sure hope it's the right version of it. Belle, let me verify that before we play it.
Julio FX, if this is not the right version, yeah, should have been more
Okay.
specific.
Yep.
It is from the last stream where you requested it.
Yes, sir. And we honor our obligations. You gave us money. We're going to play your song. The name of the song is People Everywhere. The band is, I can't pronounce that, dude. All right. No idea what you guys are going to be listening to, but you're going to be listening to it on the podcast on the KPOD network, guys. And we will be absolutely right back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the Podcast for Julio FX. Dude, am I hearing swamp sounds at the end of that one? Is that what is that what I was hearing about? It sounded like frogs and gnats and other stuff. Is that what I was hearing there?
It's frogs mixed with something else, I think.
All right, we're just gonna call that swamp sounds. Dude, we'll play anything you pay. You give us $2. You got it, man. That money goes to Belle. Belle, you made $2. Another round of applause for Belle actually making some money on his stream. I haven't made any in a while. I even put out a goal yesterday on the stream.
That.
I said, you give me $1, I will drop my pants. And nobody took me up on it. $1, Belle. A damn dollar. Nobody would take me up on that. All right. We're going to get back. We're going to wrap it up with questions. I'm sorry, man. Look, I am obligated to continue to mention this. The 1 month chart on this is really, really kind of brutal. Now, I want to say that this is just crypto, and I get it. This chart is going to match an awful lot of charts, but that is 45% down over 30 days, man. In this particular market is a little bit rough. And the reason that I'm hyper concerned about this is that I have a pretty good, I know how ThorChain works. I understand what's going on with this stuff. And this is a little bit beyond what should be happening on a network that is currently has a market cap of $1.1 billion. This is could be absolutely fucking devastating. So where I said I consider the best bet in crypto right now short and Rune, if you can get paid off from it, I think it's something that, you do you, bro. But I can promise you right now that I have a Rune short in. I've had a Rune short in, and it's just been nothing but. It's been doing nothing but making it rain all over the top of me. I don't know where the inflection point is on this one. That's kind of the kicker. Is I don't know where the point of no return is. It's close. All right, it is absolutely close on this, and I don't know how this fleshes out. Now, JP Thor has been going out there. He's been making posts telling everybody be calm, but. We used to have a graphic. If anybody's seen the movie Animal House, Belle, did you ever see the movie Animal House?
Well, yeah, I did.
Okay,
I'm not that deprived.
Okay, you remember at the end of it when they brought the Eat Me out there and were throwing smoke bombs all over and everybody started to panic and he had the guy going, "All is well." That's what it felt like. That's what those tweets felt like. It's like, all is well. We're good. The protocol. Here's the kicker. The protocol is making a lot of money. Hand over fist, buckets and buckets and buckets of money. But looking at this over the last 30 days really, really suggests to me that, sure, you might be making money, but it ain't going to the token. It ain't going to back it up. So it just seems like all the money that's going to be pouring in there that may or may not become Thor or Rune is just getting dumped. It's just getting dumped on top of the heads of the people of these guys, of the diamond handers, the guys who are going to hold to zero. Those guys, and they're absolutely paying the price for this right now. But even for all the bullshit that's going on out here in crypto right now, for a chain this large to bleed off 16.6%, 24 hours, just saying, man, I'd maybe be a little bit more concerned. But your money, your business. I don't tell people what to do with it. What I do have is a producer who's going to ask me some questions, comments, concerns, or observations. Take it away, Bill.
Political. Scott, per the U.S. debt clock now, it shows future Treasury dollars. What is the difference between that and the current U.S. M2 money supply?
Nothing, dude. I mean, it's all myth. And you can just, I think the greatest tour any human can take is the Mint in Denver. That's the best tour that you could take over there, because you just see these sheets and sheets and sheets of $100 bills being printed out, and it gives you a real good inclination. You got to pay for the tour, by the way. You have to pay. It's like $16. But just watching all these $100 bills getting printed out is it's an awakening. It's something that every single American citizen should certainly go through. Fiat is dust. All right, it has our dollars are not worth it. We can't even really print pennies anymore because it costs us more to make pennies than the penny is worth. So. Yeah, debt clock, M2 money supply, and all that other stuff, dude. It's just ways to try to keep people calm. Stay calm. Everything's good. Don't worry about it. Yes, I know we just rolled out $87 billion on trucks. I know we did, but don't worry. Don't worry. That doesn't devalue the currency in your wallet whatsoever. You just don't understand higher finance. And if you did, you'd be cool. So just stay calm. Yeah, that's my screensaver. I still use a screensaver, and it's the U.S. debt clock. Eventually you got to look at that and just say, fuck, why bother, man? That's kind of where we are. Anyway, I know that didn't answer the question. That's my answer to it. Belle, carry on.
Idiot Fish hit us with a $1.99 super chat.
There you go, Belle. You made $1.99.
And Julio FX hit us with a $2.99.
Oh my
super
goodness!
chat.
You made $5 today. I gotta hit the applause button again. Well done, Belle. You killed it. You absolutely killed it.
And Nuclear Chicken, Scott, we know you love crypto, armor, swords, music, and karate combat. What else do you do for fun that we don't know about?
I like board games. Believe it or not, I'm that guy. I like board games and I like puzzles for some reason, man. There's just something very, very therapeutic about dumping a 10,000 piece puzzle on the kitchen table and saying, putting up barriers around and saying, don't fucking touch anything up there. That's mine. It's mine. I'm going to finish it. Yeah, I like board games and puzzles.
I can think of another thing they don't really, that wasn't on that list.
Now what?
bad movies.
Oh, bad movie. I adore bad movies, man. Look, bad movies are, oh, look, Thor chain went down a little bit more. It just keeps going down and down, Mel. I'm sure everything, all is well. Everything's fine. Yeah, I love bad movies, but they got to be really bad. They have to be movies that set out to be good movies, but were just god awful when you actually look at them objectively. Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I've seen, God, 1,000 times, was a objectively bad movie. It was horrible. The props were cheap. There were no name brand characters in there. I mean, it was just a bad movie, but I adore it. And I say the same about Roadhouse. Roadhouse. I'm sorry, Jeff. Calm down, because I know that you wanted to be a bouncer in a former life, and you would watch Roadhouse and touch yourself and say, "Oh God, I can't wait to be Dalton." But it was an objectively bad movie. The dialogue was shit. The characters were undeveloped. And let's be real here, Bell. He could have jumped in that beautiful Mercedes and drove 10 miles north, and all of his problems would have stopped. There's no reason to hold on to this. 10 miles north, and everything stops. But he wouldn't do it. All right, it was just
That's 5 minutes.
It's a 5-minute drive,
minutes.
dude, and you're out of trouble, but he just wouldn't do it. The blonde that used to take her clothes off, that made the movie for me right there. There was a lot of TNA, so I will stick around. But it was just a bad movie. It was awful. But, and those are the kind of things that I enjoy. I love bad movies. There's a couple of channels that I subscribe to. They have like really B-grade slasher movies and horror and stuff like that. And I adore it. I can't get enough of that. It just makes me laugh and laugh and laugh. So everybody needs laughter in their life. Anyway, I hope that answers the question.
I signed up for Tubi for the same reason. That's the one place you can find the lost treasure of Jesse James.
Oh, that was a good movie. We know the guy. We know one of the actors in that.
It was
Yeah.
good movie, but it was so cheesy and corny, and you can't help but adore that one. And that one was not intentionally made to be a bad movie.
No, think Goonies from a Western setting. That was it. The Lost Treasure of Jesse James. It was really, really bad. I loved it, start to finish. I couldn't get enough of it. Anyway, carry on.
I've actually told us that if they need actors for their next movie, to contact us.
I would be fantastic. I would be a fantastic actor in one of those things. I take direction very well. I got to be a villain though, man. There's nothing about this suggests good guy. I would be the ultimate villain, and you know what? You can do anything to me. All right.
From what I understand,
I just want to be in a movie.
They're filming a sequel to The Lost Treasure of Jesse James.
Then I'm your guy, man.
But it's pirate themed.
I could be a pirate. Look, I got a beard. I'm ready. I'm there. I'm a sailor.
I mean, hello, exactly. You're a sailor. So
I actually sail sailboats. So you know what? I'm ready, man. We can get guys in the riggings. I can tell them what lines to pull. We could sail that. Three-masted ships don't scare me. I got you. All right, I got you. Been doing this a long time. Anyway, carry on, Bill.
Nuclear Chicken is the newest APK for Aegis from November, or is there a newer one I should try to get?
No, I have the newest, and I'm still testing it myself. We need a little bit of reconciliation with the front end, and we're having some front end issues. So I'm actually talking to some other people, Renadevs, man. If I got to do Renadev, I'll do Renadev. But they have all the features that we need, and they are functional. But it's a matter of reconciling front end, back end right now, and we're still doing it, man. Look, I got one full-time guy on this. I got one part-time guy. We can only do so much. We are doing a raise, and when I get the raise, and the raise it's gonna fill, then we'll bring on 2 or 3 other guys, and that should be enough to really get us out the door. We want to launch a token. Right now is the time to do it, man. The market is absolutely shit. Now's the time to do it, so I can get some carry on the good part of it. So we're trying. We're doing our very, very best up here, man. But if it ain't ready, we're not releasing it. Hope that answered the question. Bell, carry on.
Political Scott, what was fun was playing with the truck drivers. Kia Pi Power HF while they are talking trash on the CBs and listen to the holler.
Yeah, pretty much, man. You know what? Most of my time I was spent talking to drones, talking to drone pilots. So we're bouncing a signal from Djibouti, Africa, 19 different places until it lands over there in San Diego or something like that. And I'm telling you know, I'm on the radio. You are fucking up. I need you here. Here, look, I'm making a dot. Put it fucking there. And you know, then waiting for my 4.5 minutes for me to get my acknowledgement call and shit like that. It was amazingly frustrating. But yeah, dude, I love to do it. I love to be radio. It was actually funny. I told the story before. I don't think you heard it, Jeff. Somehow I ended up with a man pack, and anybody who's familiar in the military knows what a man pack is. And I was someplace that I shouldn't have been with people that I have no association with, but for some reason I was out there. And if you've ever been in that region, Southern Africa, not South Africa, not where there's actually electricity and subways, but just before you get into the good stuff, and that's kind of where we were. And I'm out there. I'm fully equipped. I'm wearing an IOTV, fucking 70 pounds of armor, man. Wearing an IOTV, all my stuff, and I got my rifle. And they were gearing up. They're doing their thing. I'm there to call it in. Yeah, they're going in. Yeah, they're coming out. My job is very, very easy, man. I am not an operator. Right? Look at this. What about me suggests that I should be there? But I was there, so I had to deal with it. But I'm sitting there with my rifle. I'm just waiting for these guys to do their business. I got my, you know, I'm hooked in. I'm ready to go. And I look down at my boot, and what it was, one of the other guys, one of the SEALs there, one of the other guys there, he's like pointing, and I'm like, the fuck, dude? I mean, I get it. I'm not one of you. Are you busting my balls? But he's doing this number. He's just like pointing. And I looked down, and there was something that was latched onto my boot. One of these just absolute fucking horrors out of Africa. And it was a bug. It was an insect, but I have a real problem with bugs. All right. This is my phobia is I have a real problem with bugs. And this thing is latched onto my boot. I don't know what the hell it is. I've never seen anything like that before. It never showed up in National Geographic, but it has pinchers. It has a tail, but it's not a scorpion. And as I'm looking down, I see that thing. Both of those pinchers are latched into either side of my boot, and it's like gnawing into my boot. And I absolutely freaked. I mean, I'm sure my soul left my body. It just went, nope, we're not, we're out. Scott, good luck, man. Good luck. We'll come back if you live through us. But I do remember racking my slide and trying to point my fucking rifle down at this thing because I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my God, you know what? If you ever saw The Mummy or The Mummy 2, and when the scarabs got inside the guy and they were crawling all up him and he lost his shit, that was my visual. That was going through my head right now. It's like, fuck, he's going to get it through my boot. He's going to be, oh my God, he's going to eat me. And I just absolutely lost it. It's a phobia. It is an irrational fear. I'm well aware of this. All right. I am well aware that this is an irrational fear, but tell me at that moment, because I'm racking my rifle and I'm going to shoot it off my fucking boot while I'm in a completely freaked out state. So I've never had 5 guys tackle me at one time, but that's exactly what occurred. And they went straight for the rifle. Another guy's pulling my arm off, and they're like, you know, unclipping me, and knives are coming out and they're cutting my shit off because they didn't want me to have a weapon at that time. That made a lot of sense, by the way. In retrospect, I was like, you did the right thing. But I'm just losing my mind saying, holy Christ, Bell, that thing's going to crawl through. It's going to chew through my boot. It's going to get into me, and I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking die in this shithole. And everything, it happened so fast. And I was looking up at the stars, and then I was like, oh, they're pretty. They cut my rifle. They cut my straps, everything. They just cut all this shit off me. And another one's down there with his fucking knife, prying this thing off from my boot. And let me just end this pleasantly. I didn't go on that mission. They said, you know what? No. All right. You're not right. Your head ain't right for this. I was like, I could have told you that. I don't need the pros telling me. Not this guy, man. I could have told you that. I'm like, nope. Nope. Get me the fuck out of here. But yeah, that was my experience outside of the wire over there. I had no business being there. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too lazy. I had no business being outside the wire. And when they sent me, something ate my fucking boot. All right. I'm just, anyway, I don't even know what we were talking about, but go ahead and edit there, Bell. Carry on.
All right, nuclear chicken. If y'all are willing to say, how long have Scott and Bella known each other?
Go ahead, Bell.
It's been about 13 years now.
To me, it feels like 2 years because it's so fresh, it's so new, and every day is better than the last day. So you need to know each other a long time before you get bitter and resentful. So for me, it feels like it's 2 years, Bell. Every day is better than the last day, meaning I don't know. Long time. Anyway, carry on, Bill.
Deep House Nation, Karate Combat has a very, very metaverse-ish look and feel to it. It seems intentional. If it survives, it seems promising.
Oh yeah, and I think it might. Let me show you guys the frame. We're already like demonetized, I'm sure, but let me third frame this and let me see what you guys are seeing up here. Yeah, so this is actually Karate Combat, and what you're going to be hearing, this is the fight that Bell and I were just calling. So this is actually the ring, the presentation, all the stuff that's going to be coming over here, and the presentation is excellent. By the way, we're licensed for this now, so we can show this on the channel and not get our balls busted. But this is the fight that Bell and I were calling. Now, Everell right here, he's the favorite by 73%. But if you look at the way Sullivan is pushing into him, I mean, Sullivan is the guy that's stalking him. He's been landing these very, very, very strong inside leg kicks. Hang on, let me full screen this shit because this is about the frame that you're going to see aside from us. So you can see Sullivan is still coming at this guy. Everell is dancing around. He's on the balls of his feet. He's still good. He seems like he still has a lot of energy. But Sullivan is not going to let him shoot. He is backing him in, and he continues to land these leg kicks. Now, Everell's been, you can see it right there. Again, another one, Bell. There's another big leg kick from Sullivan, man. Look, he is backing him up. Everell does not know what to do with this guy. Pinned to the wall. There's the brace, and you can see it right there. Now, the referee is not going to stand him up right now because Sullivan is still on both of his feet. So he is just landing blow after blow after blow. Everell is in completely defensive position right now. He doesn't know what to do. So there it is. Right there, they're going to stand him up. Now, this is back from Karate Combat 48, and the modern rules say that he would have left him down right there, no problem. So Sullivan is still moving in. He's still very, very good defense, man. The guy has been covering himself up incredibly well. Everell's lands another left, another right. He keeps doing it, but Sullivan is still coming at him. Big whistling haymaker that had a big miss. Sullivan goes to the knee, to the inside, to the outside. He's still throwing. That's really, really what matters here. Referee breaks him up. All right, opponents are going to match up again. Sullivan continues to stalk this guy. Everell is moving very, very good. I have this fight at round apiece, Bell. Where are you at on this?
I mean, I think Everell's going to get it.
I happen to agree. Now we have the sound off because right now you're going to be hearing that he cannot do. He cannot climb the wall like that, and the referee is about to stand him up. So grappling is not fully allowed over here in Karate Combat right now. But Sullivan is still coming at this guy. So we're coming down to the closing seconds of these rounds. If Sullivan makes a big flurry right now, he's going to clinch round 3, and he's going to walk away with the victory. I have it at round 1 over to Everell. I have round 2 to Sullivan solidly. He has just been showing more aggression. Now, round 3 is pretty well a toss-up on this one. So anyway, guys, look, this is more or less what you're going to be getting out of here out of the Karate Combat, except you're not going to see my face. You're not going to see Bell's. We have different frames that are made up for this. But what I want to point out with this one is you guys see the bottom of the screen right there. You see it's built on Hedera. Do you see that karate with the $sign in front of it? Do you guys see Kraken? Do you see all of this stuff going around over here? These are really, really good productions. And these are really, really good productions in an incredibly crypto-friendly place. We need this. Crypto needs this. Omniflix needs this. The podcast needs this. All of us needs this. So that's what you guys are going to be seeing up here. The frames are a little bit different. But you're going to hear me doing play-by-play. You're going to hear Chris with a lot more passion. I don't know how this ends. We're going to, as soon as we're done with the stream, though, we're going to watch because I think Sullivan edged him there, Bell. I absolutely think Sullivan edged him, man. He kept coming at the guy. He continued to land blows. It feels like Sullivan should have won the fight based purely on aggression. I think they're going to get it. I think Everill's going to pull it, though, just due to technically he was sound. He was very, very sound. He was still landing good combinations, always in control of himself. Just he wasn't throwing a lot of kicks, though. So I don't know which way that's going to go. Anyway, that's what you're going to get, guys. All right, you're going to get this for 10 different fights. We have a technical expert that actually does MMA combat, so it's going to be perfect. I am very, very comfortable doing play-by-play, doing play-by-play. Bell's very comfortable doing color commentary. I think we're going to give you one hell of a good show. Anyway, that's what I got at that. Bell, questions? Go. Carry on, please.
Pax Banter, do people actually fight bears?
Fight bears? Are you I don't know, Russians? What are you asking me if people step in the ring with bears, like grizzly bears? Is that the question, Bo?
Yeah, I mean that was the question. Yeah.
I've seen some of these crazy Russian fucks do some stuff that is just like wrong. I mean, it's 100% wrong. So, do they fight bears? Sure. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. This is a regular thing. And when it becomes a professional sport, we'll be covering it. Anyway, carry on, Bell.
All right, Ambido, everyone I know that holds or held rune is either out of their position or in the process of exiting their position, for what it's worth. Just trail a stop loss on the way down and you'll lock in a profit of some degree at least.
And that's what I'm thinking, man. Look, there's a reason that Kajira, they stepped up right away to rescue Kajira, because they're basically two sides of the same coin, man. They're layering a dex token and pairing it up real heavy with a whole shitload of toxic assets, and eventually the Piper's gonna is gonna come home to roost, man. And it just feels like that is store chain side. I would have looked at that. I mean, I wouldn't have offered them a nickel. I was like, we called out Kajira 2 years before that happened. He said, this is going to fucking fail. Your stable token has never been stable. It's never maintained a peg. You've gone above and beyond to try to explain why something that should be pegged at $1 is at 80 cents or at $1.20. And none of it ever made any kind of mathematical sense, but you kept doubling down on stupid, and then you exploded. So I just, there's a reason I think that Thor was so appealing by, because they just said, well, we're bigger. We can maintain the illusion longer. I don't think you can maintain the illusion of yourself, man. I'd be it's your money, dude. Like, you guys want to stick around, stick around. I would have exited that fucker a long time ago, man. It's just, it's not going to end well. Anyway, carry on, Bell.
That was actually the last one.
Perfect. Hope you guys had fun tonight. Like I said, Bell and I, we got a lot of work in front of us. We got to call fights. We have to get our rhythm. We have to get our mojo so that when we bring it to you, I'm not umming and on. I just can't do it, man. I got to call it straight down the line with no personal bias. Now, that's something I'm going to have to work on because I'm a huge fan of fights. I was a semi-pro boxer, so I'm a huge fan of fighters and combat sports. And I always look for the good in the underdog. So I have got to learn just to call it straight down the middle. I have to practice. That's all it comes down to. So we're going to be rolling through older karate combat footage. We're going to be calling them practice, so that when we do hit that go live button, we give you guys a good show. It's going to be exclusively over on OmniFlix TV. What you see is what you get. But we're putting a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort into this. So we're doing it for a very, very specific reason. We hope you guys will join us. Even if you don't like it, look, Discord is going to be open. OmniFlix doesn't have a chat feature just yet, but the podcast Discord is going to be open. We will literally make a new channel and we will call it Karate Combat. So we can still see your comments. Bell will still read them live on air. I will still answer them live on air if it's a question to me. And I think it's going to be exciting. So we'll find out. Anyway, that's all I got. Bell, please talk us up. Take us out.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who joined us this evening, we cannot say thank you guys enough. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys and the comments and questions you throw our way. Now, we are going to be back on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time with the team from Omniflix. In between now and tomorrow, if you guys have any other comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to either Scott or myself, Scott at thepodcast.com or Bella at thepodcast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we can't thank you enough, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
We are dropping new videos and podcasts every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And be sure to look for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler at The Podcasts. Also, visit our page